Hello and welcome to the Martial Perspective. Today my guest will be Grandmaster Sean Gordon, 10th degree black belt, studying Kenpo. His school is Gordon's American Martial Arts. He is the founder of it. It's located at 4195 Parkman Road in Warren, Ohio. Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Gordon. So let's get started. When did you start
I was
training martial arts?
10 years old.
10 years old?
I started martial arts. I went and took an introductory program. It was a small 5-lesson private program. Learned a couple basics and stuff. And then I didn't go back for a little bit. And I thought, a few months later, I thought, man, there's something more to that. So I just went back, and now, 48 years later, I'm still doing it.
Wow, 48 years. Who was your instructor back then?
My original instructor, we started Jean Claire's Martial Arts. I was in Warren, Ohio. My very first instructor was Mark Manning, but through the time period that I trained, I went through many different instructors, and my final one there was Gordon Islack. I trained under him all the way up to my black belt. And then since then, Mr. Islack has moved on. I've gone through many different teachers since then. Now I'm associated with Master Kelly out of Florida, and that's who I train under currently.
Yes, sir. Now, was it always Kenpo that you trained with?
Pretty much, yes, sir.
Okay, and that was under Eternal Grandmaster Ed Parker's system?
Yes, Master Parker. We don't call him Eternal Grandmaster. He's a Senior Grandmaster.
Senior Grandmaster.
Which is fine. He was always involved. Now, what I didn't know when I first come up, there was 2 different lineages of Kenpo. There was a Tracy's Kenpo and a Parker Kenpo. What I first originally started was what the JT Will had, and brought up through the lineage of JT Will was Tracy's Kenpo under Al Tracy. It's when I met Mr. Doyle in Mentor, Ohio, I started training with him, and the first question he had for me was, do you know the Tracy system or the Parker system? I'm like, I'm 18 years old, 19 years old. I'm like, what are you talking about,
Right.
So he had me do one kata, boom, you're doing a Tracy system. I'm like, well, what's the difference? And then he started teaching me the difference, and since then, I've been in the Parker system.
So what is the difference between the Tracy system and the Ed Parker system?
Al Tracy was associated with Master Parker at one time, and then there was a split between the two. And I don't know all the dynamics of the split, but what Al Tracy did was went and began to change simple things to kind of make it his own. So he didn't really change a lot, but there was a lot, from the original. So it was just a matter of opinions.
So are these 2 systems still in existence today?
Yes, they're both still in
I know
existence.
the Supreme Grandmaster Parker system it's very popular, but the Tracy system, is that still?
Yes, it's still around.
And they're still divided?
Yes, they're still divided.
Okay. What made you get into the martial arts?
What got me into the martial arts? There was a lot of TV stuff. You had the Kung Fu series out, stuff like that. And we saw stuff on TV, thought it was cool. Like, all right, let's go try a class, So we went to try a class, and I was one out of 4 of us that went that kind of kept going, And a couple of them have come back since then and got back into it and stuff, but I was the one that, right from the beginning, stayed with it.
So what made you pick this style of martial art? Was that what was available to you at the time, or?
That's what was there, was Kenpo. When I went to my first class, it was a Kenpo class, and that's just what I stuck with.
Okay. So it's fair to say that pop culture and Hollywood TV actually influenced you into.
Yes, pop culture has influenced a lot of martial arts over the years. If you think about it, back in the 70s, you had the Kung Fu series, stuff like that, and that's what everybody geared towards. Well, then when you hit the 80s, you remember the old Return of the Ninja, Enter the Ninja movies. The ninja craze came out. Everybody wanted ninjutsu, Now you have the Karate Kid stuff. Everybody went more traditional karate. If you think about it, when John Wick come out, Taken, even the Batman movies come out, they had certain martial arts where people always wanted to go to that martial art. So it's a big influence with Hollywood. People see these different styles. Oh, what's that? Oh, I got to do that, So yes, martial arts is influenced by the film industry.
Okay. Do you think it's practical to learn more than one martial art?
Yes. I have a lifelong study in Kenpo, okay, and that's my base art. But over the years, I have trained with many different teachers and masters and everything. The only other art I'm officially ranked is Inchinryu samurai sword, okay, katana stuff. Other than that, I don't hold official rank in anything else but JKD. I have a 3rd level in that. But my whole aspect was to learn what they do and basically Bruce Lee's theory is adopt what's useful and get rid of the rest. You know, if I found something in another system that was working for me, I would use it. Not saying it would work for somebody else, it worked for me. And I would adopt it into what I do. So trading around with different arts is very helpful because you will find things that fit into what you do. And I don't care what art you study, no art is better than the other art. It's the person in that art.
Right.
Okay. You can say Kenpo, you got people out there, and I'm not going to say it's Kenpo people or anybody else, but I've heard people from other styles, any other style, or even our style, oh, it's the only art, it's the best art. No, it's not the best art. There's flaws to every art, okay? It's the person in the art that makes it, okay? And then that, you know, when you have that ego that you're the best, it's when you're going to lose.
Well, I think that's the ego part plays a big part in a lot of martial arts.
Yes.
If you're not Kenpo, you're not nothing. If you're not Taekwondo, you're not nothing.
No.
Everybody looks at their martial art as being superior. I think
Not
that's
true.
because it's an ego thing,
Yeah.
and they don't want to be one up by anybody else.
Right, correct.
What is the biggest obstacle you have faced personally in your training?
The biggest obstacle I faced in my training, I think, is now that I own a school and I'm working in a school and I've been teaching for a long time, and this is personal to me too, is I'm very strict on giving out my belts. I'm very harsh on the test. I'm very strict with what they know and how they perform. A lot of what I want to call modern schools now are, and I understand you got to make money. Okay, I'm not saying that's the process. They're more commercialized. They want to promote faster, get people out there, keep that money inflow coming, which I understand because they're business. Well, my school is very small. I've only got about 15, 20 students, and they've been with me since the onset of their training. And now I've got students from way in the past too, who are black belts now and stuff, but they understand that it wasn't easy to get that belt. Most of my blacks will tell you, if you got a black belt from Master Gordon, you got an official black belt. It's tough.
So, from white belt to black belt in Gordon's American martial arts, what's the typical timeline for? And I know it's different for everybody.
Yeah, you hear typical timeline. People will tell you is anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Serious training. I don't stick to timelines. I test people when they're ready for their belt, even from white to yellow. Everybody says, oh, it'll take you 3 months to get your yellow belt or 2 months. I'm like, listen, no, I'll teach you all the curriculum you need for it, but I want to see you be ready. Let me know you're ready, then I'll test you. So I got some people who hold it a rank for a long period of time before they test.
Okay. Why do you think Kenpo is so popular in today's society?
Kenpo was popular back in the day because Grandmaster Parker, he held one of the largest tournaments in America for the longest time, the Internationals out in California. At Long Beach, it became very popular. It became a very popular tournament to get there and succeed in. It was like a standard. If you could win that tournament, you were legit. You had some other tournaments the same way. You got the Battle of Atlanta. You got tournaments all over the world. That if you win those tournaments, you've got a name for yourself because they were some tough fighters. A lot of what happened with Parker that made it popular is he was in the Pasadena area, which was near Hollywood. He would hold the Long Beach Internationals, and he'd bring these people in to demo stuff. One of the most famous people I ever had was Bruce Lee. And he helped Bruce Lee get into the film industry. So he had that connection with Hollywood. So people would see that, and they would train with him. And then Kenpo just flourished all over the world from there.
So speaking about these tournaments, there's this particular Kenpo patch that I've seen, and it's called the Flame. In order to achieve that patch, you had to compete in a Ed Parker.
Yes, you had to compete in the Long Beach International.
So now that Master Parker has passed away, is there any way to achieve that patch?
Well, what has happened is over the years, everybody split. Okay, when he passed away, this guy said he was the guy. This guy said he was the guy. Well, that Parker patch that you got from the Long Beach Internationals, I actually have one because I went in 1990 and competed. Has now been counterfeited. People make them.
Okay.
So it's no longer that prestigious thing if I got that patch on my uniform that says, oh, you were at the Long Beach Internationals, because people have reproduced them since then.
Makes it more difficult, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
that has lost its luster a little bit.
So right now, your master is Sean
Coach
Kelly.
Sean Kelly, yes.
Sean Kelly out of Florida.
Florida.
And he has started something called the Zen Kenpo.
Yes.
Can you explain?
The Zen Kenpo is a event he holds every February, and he brings in teachers from all over the country. Brings in a lot of Kenpo guys, but he also brings in people from other styles also. It's a 3-day event. Everybody teaches a seminar, and a lot of it is about health and wellness. Okay, it's not I'm the tough guy, I'm the fighter, I'm the best. He wants us to know that we have a home to go to, and we're more about mentorship and leadership in developing the person in the martial arts. It's not just about punching and kicking. It's what's up here in our minds and what we do.
Yes, sir.
And that's a big event. It's a great event. If you ever get a chance to attend, I'd suggest you go.
Where in Florida is that located?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach, Florida. Okay. And that brings me into Black Belt Leadership. That's also an organization that Master Sean Kelly
Yes.
Runs as well. Can you expand a little bit on that?
What happened with Black Belt Leadership, I met Master Kelly about 7 years ago. It was very funny how we met. My master passed away, Paul Lukuski, so I was kind of in limbo, like where am I going to go next? So I started searching, and I remember Mr. Lukuski telling me that he trained with a guy named Kelly in Florida. So I did an internet search and I found Sean Kelly. So I made some phone calls and I got a hold of him, and he invited me down. When I went down there, I belonged to other organizations before that never really did a lot. You paid your money, you got your patches, your certificates, stuff like that. When I went down there, my wife was even suspect of it, like, oh, you've been in all these organizations. And I'm like, I know, but this guy sounds different. Let's go see. So I went and saw, and it was just like phenomenal when I walked in there. Just like, hey, and everybody was so welcoming and helpful. And now that I've been with them, any help I need is a phone call away.
Now, this is all Kenpo people, correct?
Yes. Well, mainly, yes. But there are other people involved with us, too. We're not strict just Kenpo. We will take in any schools, and as long as they want to learn and are open-minded. We don't change their system. They don't have to. It's a matter of concepts and ideas and things like that. But the leadership thing, he started developing that, and he's used me for a lot of it. As of now, I'm a Maxwell certified coach. He got me into that. And the leadership part of it is not so much I shows you how to punch and kick is what I do for you on the mental aspects of the arts. How do I lead? How do I teach? What do I do? What do I want to show these people, and guide them in life, not just punching and kicking.
Okay. So you actually run a seminar series called The Wisdom of the Warriors.
Yes.
And when did that start, and can you explain?
I've done that. This will be my 10th year doing The Wisdom of the Warrior. And again, there I bring in coaches and instructors from all over the country. I bring in some locals to do it, and I'll bring Master Kelly will be there. Bill Superfoot Wallace will be there this year. I'm bringing Mike Lazaris up, hopefully. I'm in contact with him. I'm bringing him up. He's very knowledgeable in the law enforcement end of it. Richard Gamboa, it's a Kung Fu stylist, will be there, and I got some local guys coming also.
Sounds pretty awesome. I've been to several of those, and it's a great event, and it brings all the martial arts together. Which brings me to my next question. In martial arts, do you think it's a good thing to network with other masters, other schools, and not to integrate, but more to push, things that work, like you said before?
Again, I protest against the egos. I want to be friends and work with people so I can learn and they can learn from each other. Networking is very important, because if you don't network, how do you ever evolve? If I say this is the only system I do, but there's something over here that I can incorporate or use, but I refuse to learn it because of my ego, then I stay here. They have to evolve. You have to work with people.
Okay. So would you say that your school is a sport-focused school, like for tournaments or for competitions?
No, mine is more aspected towards the self-defense aspects of it. I did tournaments as I come up. If any of my students want to go to a tournament, I'll support them in that and go with them and help them. But I did the tournament circuit for a long time. I was the 13-time state champion back in the day, and I got out of it.
And that was the PKC tournament?
Yeah, PKC tournaments, yes.
Okay. So do you think the sport aspect has hurt or helped your martial art?
It does kind of both. you can build a big camaraderie in sport martial arts and become part of a team and stuff like that. Some of the fighting isn't realistic because it's more of a game of tag. I mean, you're not actually making contact, which I understand because it's a safety thing. But it is an avenue to promote yourself and get yourself moving and stuff like that. So it's a 50-50. I mean, you know, if you're into the sport, because they also do kata, they do breaking, they do all kinds of different events. So that, you know, there is different aspects to it. So yeah, sport isn't bad. It just depends on what that person wants to get into.
It sounds like it's almost like a double-edged sword.
Yes, it is.
Okay. How do you handle a student that you see struggling in class? Like, is that common?
It is common. Everybody will have struggles over time. And sometimes when they struggle, you got to get down to the root of why they're struggling. Sometimes it ain't the art that they're struggling with or the technique. It might be something personal that's holding them back. I mean, I've dealt with people who are having divorce, or they have domestic violence in their past or something like that, and they have I'll call it a mental block. Mm-hmm. That's where your mentorship comes in. Being able to sit down and talk with these people and say, hey, what's bothering you? What seems to be the issue? And getting them to open up, find out what that issue is, and give them avenues to get around that issue or over that issue, and support them. You have to be supportive, because if you're not, they're going to stay in that shell. Mm-hmm. You got to bring them out. I had a girl one time, when she come to my class, when she started, she wouldn't even talk. She just was totally silent. And I'll tell you, this day, she ended up getting a black belt from me, and her test was amazing, and now she talks. She's gained that out.
So you think that gave her the encouragement and the motivation?
It was just a slow build, working with her, getting her to come out of the shell.
Well, okay, so how do you balance discipline and encouragement in your teaching style? Is it difficult?
It is, but it isn't, okay? You have to spend that extra time, okay? Your class time is on your techniques and what you're doing and doing all of that. But at the end of every one of my classes, I do like a leadership circle. We circle up some chairs and we talk about what we're doing. Mm-hmm. There's an aspect in life, something that happened in the world. Hey, how do you feel about this? What do we got to do? How can we change stuff? We do a unity through community thing where we do donations to different organizations around to help the community. But I also spend a lot of time beyond the class. If I have a person who has an issue, hey, give me a call. You know, let's get together, go to lunch or something. Let's sit down, talk about that issue, figure out what we can do. And that's how I help people. I take that extra time.
Okay. So there's a big thing right now in martial arts where they call it McDojos.
Yes.
So a McDojo, for listeners that don't know, which I'm sure you probably do if you're listening to this podcast, a McDojo is somewhere where you go, you pay money, and in 6 months you get your black belt. Or it varies.
Yes.
So when you walk into a school, what are alarms that you see that would set off in your head immediately?
One of the alarms for me is when I see a very, very younger kid, I would say, not just a kid, maybe even a teenager, with a black belt with stripes on it. It's like, wait a minute, you're 14 and you're a third-degree black belt, okay? I start to question that because a black belt, you should have a sense of maturity to them that teenagers don't have yet. Have had the chance in life to develop as an adult. And I'm not saying there can't be a junior black belt, okay? There is a junior black belt. I have a couple of them. But they have to test for their adult black belt when they're old enough.
Right.
Okay? I just don't see them being, how would I say this? They can help in class, but I don't think they should be leading the class because I don't feel they have the mentality yet or the maturity to understand the mental aspects of other people that are going on, especially if they're teaching some adults in the class.
Right, and as an adult coming into class, like an adult gut belt, color belt, how are they? I mean, how are they supposed to follow instruction and follow commands from
a teenage kid,
or a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid?
Yes.
So
what, and I will expand on that, is their mentality of that. I'm there to mentor those kids and supply the leadership to help them grow. So that's why I say I will help them, have them help class, but I'm there monitoring it with them the whole time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. What do you think the biggest thing you've learned from your master, Master Kelly down in Florida? What's the biggest takeaway that you've learned thus far from going under his system?
There is more than the punching and kicking. There's so much to the mentality and the maturity of the arts and helping people and being there as a leader instead of just, hey, let's get on the floor and fight. No, we got to lead.
So you spent your whole adult life in law enforcement in a corrections setting. You've done martial arts for 48 years, I think you said?
Maybe 48 years.
So, and then you have a family. How do you find time to balance all this stuff? To teaching, to traveling down, because I know you travel down to Florida quite a bit for seminars and for instruction, and then you come back and then you bring that knowledge back to your students. How do you find time to balance everything?
It's a lot. It's a lot. And then what you have to do is you have to, I'd say, compartmentalize it. That big word there. Family time is family time.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I go out with a lot of my students and stuff. My friends, they'll come with us to dinner and stuff like that. Work, I try to say when I go in those doors, that's work. When I come out the doors, it's done. And I still have friends from work too that we get together once in a while.
It's not always easy to leave stuff at
right.
work. I know
and
that.
then, you know, student-wise, class time is class time. When I come out of there, yes, I got to think what I'm going to teach them the next time, what am I going to do here. But I have to have those separate times. It's just put it in your head to that.
So, knowing what you know now in your martial arts journey, is there anything that you would change or do differently?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I would tell my younger self, if I could, go back and be more patient in what I learned and look for more detail. Just listen to what your instructors tell you and take it in and actually study, you know, because when I first come up, I was 10, 11, 12 years old, you know, punch, kick, you know, do a kata. You know, I didn't look at why I was doing things. You know, I just did them. Why am I doing this? And that's where I'm learning now is a lot of the whys. And it's just so amazing how it opens up to almost like going from an elementary school to a college. You know, it's so much different.
I think you're looking for a deeper meaning in martial arts at this point.
That
Before
exactly
you were just trying to absolve it, take it in, and rank up and get to a point where
well, what we didn't know at that time.
Right.
You know, we learned punch kick. Now we are learning that there's so much more.
So, as you get older in martial arts, your body doesn't function as well as it did when you were a 16-year-old kid or 20-year-old young adult. How do you adapt your training to your body essentially deteriorating?
Okay, a good question, great question. When we were young and we come up, we didn't have all this advanced training stuff that's going on now. So we banged and stuff, we got bruised up, we had things hurt, we just, come back to class next night, you're a tough guy, ignore it. Well, those injuries are coming back now, like, my knees, my back, my neck, whatever. What we've learned now is you have to listen to your body. And you have to listen to the professionals that can tell you how to do it. Training has become much more advanced now. If you go into the athletics, they have the medical issue stuff that they can fix this, fix that, or ways around of doing something so it doesn't hurt to allow it to heal properly. That's the biggest thing. When you get hurt, make sure you heal properly before you get back to doing whatever you're doing. Because if you fight through that injury, you're actually not healing it. It's just going away for a little bit, and it's going to reoccur. You got to listen to your body.
A lot of people say that Kung Fu is good for healing your body too, because practicing Kung Fu, I'm not a big Kung Fu guy. I don't know much about it. I've seen a couple seminars with it, and I've sat in a couple seminars, actually at the Wisdom of the Warriors. But the Kung Fu movements are so fluid and natural that there's no jarring of the body. Would you agree with that?
And I do. There are styles of Kung Fu that are real hard to get in there and bang and stuff, and and if you actually do Kung Fu, it's hard. But if you're looking at like the Tai Chi aspect of it, where you're just doing the motions and flowing through things, yes, it is helpful because it's allowing your body to move.
Right.
Okay, and that's a big thing is movement. But it's that hard impact that starts to take toll after a while. So yeah, if you're injured and you do something slow like a Tai Chi speed, yes, it will help your body.
Okay. So how do you see the future of Kenpo evolving? Is it, you think it's going to continue to evolve, and where do you see it heading?
Kenpo will evolve. I don't think it's ever going to die. The problem with Kenpo right now that I foresee is that when Senior Grandmaster Parker passed away, which he was not expecting to pass away at the time, never named a successor. Like, okay, if I pass away, Master Gordon, you're the leader, which I would have never been anywhere near that at that point. But so everybody that was high rank fractioned off, and a lot of people said, "Well, I was the guy," or "I'm the guy," and all these people went different ways. Now, what a lot of people didn't understand with Grandmaster Parker, he had a small thing that he did. He would teach one guy one certain way, and another guy another way, another guy this way. So when he traveled around the country, he could tell who you studied with by not even knowing who you studied with, by the way you did things. Well, each of these guys, now that he showed this, "Oh, I'm the leader here, I'm the leader," well, they have their own way of doing things.
Right,
okay?
right.
So there's a little bit of a disconnect, okay, on that, on how things should be done. Some guys are going direct lineage, some guys are going their way, and they've added things or subtracted things to evolve it. So it's kind of like a political battle. And so I don't believe Kenpo will ever come completely back to its core like Master Parker had it, but there's people out there who have that direct lineage and are right there. But the problem with that is the guys that were the seniors are now getting older, and they're passing away. So some of that knowledge, like Huck Polonius just passed away a couple months ago, a lot of knowledge lost with that gentleman.
Are those senior guys naming successors to that style?
Like in Huck Polonius' organization, Marty Zinovich took over, and I can't swear to it, I believe he was named as pretty much the successor.
So Kenpo in and of itself does not have a most senior guy.
No, not right now. And I don't think it ever will again.
Okay. What is the most crucial advice you can give someone who wants to achieve a mastery level in Kenpo?
Be patient, work, and study.
Okay. And is there what makes a great martial arts student as opposed to an average or below student?
The great martial arts student, I would say, is not the one who can. I've seen people who can kick above their head and do all these fancy katas. They're real good on the floor. They don't have the maturity or the mentality. You have to have both, mind, body, and spirit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have to have the leadership skills behind you, because if you don't, then all you're doing is show.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir.
Okay,
Great
well,
day.
I appreciate having you on the show today.
More than welcome.
This is Grandmaster Grandmaster Sean Gordon from Gordon's American Martial Arts here in Warren, Ohio. If anybody has any questions for Master Gordon, go ahead and leave them in the comment section, and hopefully we will do this
I'll
again,
do it.
and we'll answer any questions anybody might
Contact me
have.
anytime.
So, yeah, just come down to 4195 Parkman Road. Your classes are when, sir?
Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Sunday afternoons.
And what times?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5:30 to 6:30. Sunday from 3 to 5.
Okay. And when the Wisdom of the Warrior sets its date and times,
It's set. August 8th.
August 8th.
I already got it.
2026. Where's that going to be located?
At the church.
At the
where
church.
we're at, 4195 Parkman Road.
All right, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, sir.